The locked door. So I'm about 25% into the locked door. I have this on NetGalley, and so I'm wanting to get through it and be able to review and help my score. I don't know, it's weird. It's just weird so far. There's basically, you're getting flashbacks back and forth from present day and following this surgeon to her childhood where her dad was actually a serial killer. And so it's just been kind of interesting seeing her living her life, trying to keep it secret that she's the daughter of this serial killer, because obviously people will treat her different. Yeah, I don't know exactly where this is going to go yet, but I mean, it's interesting. So right now, feeling kind of 3-star vibes. All right, I'm about 50% through the locked door, and I really like Frida McFadden's writing style. So I've been putting off doing The Housemaid, and I think I may have to bump that sucker up on the list because I really like her writing style. My gosh, Nora's going through it, and I don't know, so much has happened in the last 25% that, and I don't want to ruin anything, but it's almost feeling like either they're going to play it that she's being set up, because now she's finding things in her house like blood in her basement and stuff like that, but she doesn't know how it got there. So either someone's setting her up, or is this going to be like a psychological thriller where she doesn't understand that she's actually doing this and she's like having a psychotic break, or I don't know, or maybe we have an trustworthy narrator, and so she is secretly doing all this, but she's just trying to tell us that she's not. I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited to see where this is going to go. I have my own hopes and thoughts. I'm in it. All right, I'm 75% into the locked door. I think I know where this is going. I'm a little less on the edge of my seat and more like, I wish we could kind of pump the brakes a little bit and slow it down. I wish we actually got a little bit more in depth with these side characters that are being talked about. Because I feel like that part's being kind of rushed, and yeah, I don't know. I'm at the 75% mark, and I'm worried because I was thinking this was going to be a 4-star, and I was thinking, I couldn't wait to rave about it. I was really into it, but now I'm starting to feel like I think I know exactly where they're going with this, and I don't want it. So we'll see. Okay, so I finished the locked door, and it was better than I was worried it was going to be, but it never fully recovered what I was feeling in the first half of the book. So I'm going to end on a 3-star with it. I'm not sorry that I read it. There were a lot of parts I did enjoy, and it did give me the thrill vibes for a large part of it. And yeah, I really do like McFadden's writing style. I really, really do. So I'm definitely going to be continuing reading her books and going her backlist and stuff and doing that. It just wasn't the be all end all I was hoping it was going to be. So for me, I'm going with a 3-star, and I would still recommend it though. I do still think it's a solid thriller. So. Familiar. So I have finished 25% of The Familiar, and oh my gosh, Leigh Bardugo has packed a punch. Like, in the first 25, she grabs you. We're following Lucia, who is a scullery maid, and she works for a house that's pretending to have more money than it actually does. And essentially, she doesn't want to get in trouble for burning bread, so she uses just a wee little bit of magic that she's able to do. And basically, her mistress catches her. And so then she has to now perform at these dinners because the mistress is hoping to have something that the rich aristocrats will want, and then they'll come to the house and maybe give them money and so on. And so Lucia is having no choice but to do this. Otherwise, the mistress says she'll turn her out on the street and stuff. So she's doing it. She's trying to make some money. And I love that they're sprinkling so much of like her family's background and culture into this. And it's just very well done. And of course, things escalate as they will do. I don't want to ruin anything for you guys, but suffice to say, she gets noticed, and possibly by people that it wasn't so good to get noticed by. And now she's kind of having to scramble to do even bigger acts of magic just to save her own skin. And there's a character that, for me anyway, feels very much like a vampire almost. And I didn't expect that. I don't know why, because the cover of this book kind of gives gothic feels to it. So why not? But yeah, I am intrigued and I am interested and I'm excited. And the pacing is really fast. This is right now a 4-star potential, really, really good potential for a 5-star. So I am about 50% into The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, and some of it sounds like her usual voice, but some of it is actually different and darker than I've normally read from her. And it's intriguing. I'm liking it. At this point now, I feel bad because our main character is not just a scullery maid, not just doing these little miracles and things for her mistress, but she's now been entered into a competition, and there's like royalty watching her now, and there's a dark entity that belongs to one of the noble families that now have an interest in her. And so she's unfortunately getting on the radar of some very not good people, and she now has to do this competition. And if she wins the competition, she might just get her freedom, but if she loses, it could go really, really bad for her. So yeah, it's interesting. I am intrigued, and it's also kind of cool because they're hinting at she potentially has more power than even she realizes she has. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here. So I am putting the finishing touches on the pot roast that we're having for dinner tonight in the crock pot. Love me some pot roast. But anyway, so I am about 75% into The Familiar, and it's really picking up. Like, oh my gosh. So during the era that this is, there's the why can't I think of the name of it? Where they were torturing people for religion. Inquisition. There we go. So the Inquisition's going on. And remember, our main character has been using powers. And so now the church is like investigating her, and it's not good. And she's also had a relationship with someone that was kind of sweet, but now we're kind of worried that maybe he was just using her. So lots going on. Very exciting, but I need to finish this roast and get back to you after I finished it. Okay, so I finished The Familiar, and I think I like her YA better, to be honest. I don't know why. That last 25%, man. And it wasn't even that it was bad. It's just, I know, Stevie, right? Right? It's not even that it was bad. Stevie, seriously. What are you doing? You're a monster. An absolute monster. So it's not even that it was bad. It's just, it was very slow. There was a whole lot in there that that maybe wasn't necessary, strictly speaking, in my opinion. Went on a little long. And it was an okay ending. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So anyway, so Sorry, everyone. I'm so professional today. Anyway, so in my opinion, it went on too long, kind of like this clip here. And in my opinion, the ending was okay, but just okay. I feel like she should have picked one way or the other, but instead it felt like it was trying to do all the things, and it just didn't do it for me, did it, Stevie? Hey, Stevie. It just didn't do it for us, did it? Stevie? Hi. You're internet famous. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, on to the next book. The Fifth Wave. So I'm 25% into the Fifth Wave, and wow, like I'm already on part 3 at 25% in, and now I understand. So it is aliens. I wasn't sure when I did my TBR game, but it is alien related. And yeah, like it's several viewpoints, which is kind of cool. And it's got, you know, it explains what the first wave was, the second wave, the third wave. It's intense. I really hope aliens don't come here and attack us in the way that they are describing it in this book, because that's intense for real. It would be a brilliant way to do it, and it would be successful, but whoa. But it's really good. I'm enjoying the writing style. I don't think I've ever read anything by Rick Yancey before, but I do appreciate the writing style. I do like it. And yeah, when I get done reading this, I am 100% going to be watching the movie and seeing how close it is. And yeah, it's really good. I am really having a scarily good time. I'm getting ready to go grocery shopping, so I'm going to take you with me a little bit to enjoy some groceries. And since they're so expensive now, we're hitting Aldi's first for everything we possibly can, and then we'll go hit some Walmart, and then Kroger, and then Amazon. That's usually the order I go in to try to afford groceries. But that's not why you're watching. You're watching because you want to hear about the Fifth Wave. I am now halfway into it, and oh my gosh, there has been so much loss, and there's been so much heartbreak, and there's been some twists and turns, and now I know the different waves. So before they'd only kind of vaguely reference them. Now I know exactly what the 4 waves that have come and gone are, and I have theories on what this 5th wave is going to be. And there's now a new viewpoint of a guy that is in like a boot camp, and it's interesting. It's interesting. And so some people we thought we were saying goodbye to in the beginning, we're actually seeing again through his viewpoint. So it is kind of cool. I'm liking the writing style. I am all here for it, and I enjoy the pace, and I can't wait to continue. I am now 75% into the 5th wave, and oh my gosh, wow, like a lot has been happening here. Now the main character has found somebody else that's trying to help her reach her brother, and my theory was correct, and I knew it would be, but it's interesting. It's really interesting because she's not deterred. Like, she is still a woman on a mission, and she is going to find her brother, and she's got feelings, and she's got thoughts, and pretty sure now at this point that everybody that is in the know knows what this 5th wave is, and I am so dying to see how this is going to wrap up because, oh my gosh. Okay, so I finished the 5th wave, and oh my gosh, it did not disappoint. It was so good. I never want to give away spoilers on my channel if I can help it, but just suffice to say, you're left feeling pretty good. But it is book 1 of 3, so I am excited to get through the rest of the series and see how this ends and where it goes from here. There were some twists I didn't actually see coming, but in the best possible way. 4 stars, fantastic read. It's YA, so make sure you're in the mood for YA and angst and, you know, things like that. But oh my gosh, it was so cute and so good, and I am all about it. And now that I know I like Rick Yancey, I'm gonna have to make sure to look at some of the other books that this author's done, because yeah, I was along for the ride and it was fabulous. And in fact, I am terrified now because I feel like if an alien entity were to come to Earth and actually attack us in this manner, we'd be screwed. Like, we would totally be screwed. So yeah, I highly recommend. I'm about 10%, and it's a thicker book. I like Dean Koontz. I like Dean Koontz a lot, and it's only the first 10%, but so far, for it being a story about these strange, seemingly coincidental suicides that are happening, it's kind of boring. I know that sounds weird to say, but it is. It's kind of going really slow and really boring, and I'm really hoping it picks up soon. So I am officially 25% into the Silent Corner, and it's gotten better. It's picked up a little bit more, which is nice. There was just a lot of information dumping in the beginning with just a couple of scenes that would grab you, but there was just so much information and several different viewpoints that felt like it was kind of dragging on at first. But now we've really gotten to know Jane, who's an FBI agent that suffered a pretty tragic loss. And so because of that, she's on leave from the FBI, but has kept her credentials, and she's secretly investigating exactly why things happen and what is going on. And it's definitely pulled me back in, and I'm hoping it continues ramping up like this. So I'm now at 50%, and I'm halfway. And oh my gosh, I've just been listening to it on audio on Hoopla, and I've been bebopping around doing my chores and stuff for the day, just listening to it, and haven't wanted to put it down. It's really picking up. There's like a seedy underbelly of stuff going on now, and there's, we'll say, technology involved in some of the stuff that's happening that back when this was written was actually really advanced. And so I like it. I'm pulled in. There's still moments where it's kind of slow and there's not a lot of progression, and I'm just sitting there like, I can appreciate the fact that these scenes are, well, first of all, the chapters are very short. They're only like a couple pages long at most, kind of like a James Patterson novel. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate that it goes fairly quickly. Just some of the scenes, I think, weren't necessary, just didn't really add a lot in my opinion. I mean, maybe I'll change my mind later and they'll come into play later, but for now it slows down the progression and the pacing, and I don't like that as much. But it feels like a 3 stars so far at the halfway point, and we'll see. So I'm now 75% into the Silent Corner, and it's losing me. It's getting really convoluted. I'm going to finish this so that I can finish the vlog, because tomorrow is Six Flags and it's going to be exciting, and I am not going to have the energy or time or ability to do a whole lot of reading while trying to watch out for these 150 students that we're taking with us for the competition. But yeah, it's something. I am not crazy about this book. I hate to say, because I love Dean Koontz, but we'll see. Okay, I have officially finished it, and I'm glad I can say that I read it and I'm finished with it. It was, I guess, a satisfying ending, but yeah, that last half, the first half wasn't amazing, and the last half definitely was leaving something to be desired for me. And the very end is also kind of a Okay, things panned out, the best way that they could have, but it also still kind of leaves you thinking, okay, so not everything is settled. There's still some things up in the air. So I don't know if it's like there's more that are supposed to be in the series or not. I thought it looked like a standalone to me, so that's extra disappointing. But yeah, I'm probably gonna rate it a 2-star, everybody. I hate to say that because I love Dean Koontz. I don't think I've ever rated one of his books so low, but this just really disappointed me from start to finish, and it was a long book, and yeah, maybe I'm just not in the place for it. Maybe that's it, because there's a book for everybody and for every time. So maybe I'm just not in the place that I wanted this particular kind of story. So, yep, that's all I got to say about that. I need to get to bed because tomorrow is going to be a really long day.